Namaste and welcome to the weekly meeting of the Essence of Knowledge program. This program is available for free online on gyanmark.guru for all the seekers. And in these meetings, we do questions and answers and also conduct tests. So today we are going to start with a test. The test is of Karan.
Okay, I'll start attempting the answers one by one. Going with the first question. Does the path of knowledge destroy everything? Uh, in a way, yes. The path of knowledge is meant to be a negative, a subtractory path, which means all the knowledge gained here is actually in the form of dropping all the ignorances. Eventually, any knowledge that we also might seem that we are gaining will also be dropped, because as we know, all knowledge is also just uh, a better version of an ignorance. So yes, the path of knowledge would destroy all the existing beliefs and all the existing ignorances. Second question, what is necessary for knowledge? Memory, experience, or logic? I think it's all of this, because any experience is only experienced because we have memory, and when memory goes through our logic and our the direct experience goes through our logic, it makes sense to our mind, and that structured information that lies in this experience is called knowledge. The third question, if it is unknowable, can it be called true nature? The true nature is the essence of something. It need not be any quality of knowing, because the act of knowing is part of the illusion itself, and the true nature is not the illusion, it's the very essence, the thing that never changes. Fourth question, why is there no non-existence? As I understand from the path of knowledge that I have learned, that all of existence's true nature is emptiness, which is not exactly nothingness, it is just devoid of all the substances. However, it is also a field of infinite possibilities. So there is no cause for these possibilities to arise, it's just there. And if there is no existence, then there is no experiencer, there is no experience, we will not be talking about this. The next question, emptiness cannot be seen, but it is always present. False. Yeah, as I just mentioned, emptiness is the true nature or the essence of all of existence. It cannot be seen because, again, seeing something is part of our senses. It is part of the illusion itself. Again, it is ever present because it is timeless. It has no relation with time or location or any sort of quality. So yeah, I think it is true. It is always there. It is always now. The sixth question, if I'm beyond physical, why am I having a physical life? Again, there is no cause for the experience to happen. It just does happen, and it comes out of this infinite potential that is the emptiness is full of. A physical life probably also enables us to have this mind which can actually experience things. The next question, what are the main causes of loss of awareness? So awareness is simply being aware of this knowledge that you are the experiencer and you are the experience, the knowledge of oneness. uh, the loss of such awareness can probably be because of, if any other further indoctrination or ignorance is added to that seeker, it can cause loss of awareness. Any sort of even real life issues that come up, survival issues that might come up, that can lead to slight, astray from the path of awareness. The eighth question, what does the experience of oneness feel like? The experience of oneness has no quality. It is devoid of all quality, all definitions. It is just being, it is just experiencing. We can also say in certain ways that it feels blissful, where we say that it's not exactly happiness or sadness, it's just devoid of all those feelings. So we were on question number 9. What is the evidence that any kind of experience is possible? Again, all the experiences that are apparent to us are coming out of this infinite field of potential. All that potential creates a lot of changes. The changes that make sense to our mind, which are structured properly in our mind, can be called as my experience. The last question: how to contemplate purely on direct experience before listening to the teachings? Well, this seems to be, I will answer this probably based on my personal experience. Uh, I have always thought that all gaining of knowledge must be based in direct experience. No way of indirect experience can be uh, truly said as true knowledge. Every knowledge that should be made your own. You can simply contemplate by engrossing in your curiosity and applying the scientific method, applying the logics, and making sure that all the concepts, everything is satisfying your intellect. Yeah, that is about it, Tarunji.
Thank you very much. Very good attempt by Karan. And you got 7.5 marks out of 10, which is satisfactory score. Very good. Only one answer was wrong, but some marks were deducted in other answers. We'll discuss it shortly. So we'll go ahead with our routine activity of the meeting. And congratulations to Karan. You are on step number 4 now. So there are already some questions in the window here. First is from Anantanj. What is consciousness? Is being in awareness same as being in consciousness? We were discussing these things in previous meeting or before that probably, that this is a non-technical word. It is common word used by common people, and we have not defined it simply because there is no agreed upon definition. Everybody uses it as per their convenience by defining it there and then. And when somebody is speaking on that topic, they define it and they speak about it. However, in our program, we have well defined words. You can try to match them where one of the definition of consciousness matches with our terminology, but it will be useless because it keeps changing. So, awareness is defined as knowledge of the self. It is knowledge, it is not the self. So, everybody will define these words according to their own understanding, their own path. There is no standard definition. You can search on internet, but then again you will find hundreds of views. Fortunately, this is not a problem as far as path of knowledge is concerned. Here we have clearly defined the words, which normally do not change. That causes very little confusion. So the rule is that whoever defines the word must answer what it is. This is the rule. Wherever you heard it, you will get the definition there only. And if you go to some other teacher, some other path, there you will get another definition, another meaning, like this. It is true for many words in spirituality, even in science, even in other paths, tantra and all. For example, samadhi. It is different for everybody. So these concepts are variables, but we do not deal with these things. We have a proper definition. There is no consciousness in our program. Okay, Neelam has a question. Would you give your comments on the topic of conscious death? I don't know much about this. Probably you will find some video about this in our English channel, Pure Experiences. But I'll tell you in short. It is very simple. You remain aware when the process of death is happening. That is called conscious death. How to remain aware? The same way you are aware now. Become aware of your true nature. Instead of assuming and believing that I am the body which is dying, simply be present in the truth. This is called conscious death. It is same as being aware while dreaming or sleep or other states of the mind. The death will become another state of the mind. Obviously, we don't know right now, but it is very similar to state change that the mind undergoes during our daily routine, waking, sleeping, dreaming. It is something like this, more drastic version of that. So, what is the advantage of this thing? It is all theoretical from here onwards. If you believe it, it's okay. If you don't believe it, it's okay. The main advantage is you will be able to gain control of the experience after death, if there is any. That's why I said we don't know it. It's all guesswork here. We are talking from the experience of other people, masters, and books here. Second, you will be able to stop the rebirth because you are conscious now. It is not a mechanical activity. And third, if you are willing to take rebirth because probably some things are pending, there is a lot of desires to be fulfilled, a lot of work to be done, then you can consciously decide, knowingly decide where to take birth, what to do, and what form you want, which world you want, and so on. You see, it is extreme amount of freedom there, and there are more options. Like you can ask for help, you can call your guru, you can call anybody, guides, they will come and take you with them, and so on. You see, these are advantages, and you can think of more because only sky is the limit if you can achieve this. So that is the main question, how to achieve this conscious death. And the answer is by continuous practice of awareness while you are alive. Do not try to do awareness practice at the 11th hour, which means at the last moment of your life. Do not try that, it will fail. So, if you have lived an aware life, there is a good chance that at the time of death also, the awareness will be present and there will be a smooth transition from one state to another. This can be done like an experiment because we don't know. The death is complete darkness right now. So you can think of it like a occult experiment. Let me check what happens during death. A lot of mysterious things are said about death. I need to check it myself. So you conduct this experiment like this of conscious death. Or we say aware death. It is one and the same thing here. Aware death. Just like aware dream. So you will come to know. If anybody is curious, what is this death, process of death, you will know it. The trick is to practice it throughout your life. Probably you can check it, how strong your awareness is. You can check it when you can hold your awareness or the knowledge of who you are in difficult situations like sickness or some kind of suffering, difficult social situations, or when somebody else dies, challenging times. If you can hold it, that will be a test that yes, when the death arrives, there is a good chance, probability that I'll be able to hold on to the awareness. So this is one way, but there are more guaranteed ways to achieve the aware death or conscious death. And one guaranteed way is projected state of mind, practicing the occult method of projecting, changing the state of mind while you are alive, while the body is healthy. So the death becomes another projection only. That day we were talking about these things, subtle body and Sukshma Sharir and astral body and so on. It will be simply changing of bodies. The death will become changing of bodies. Now, I know it is very difficult to believe all these things. And so stepwise procedure has been given. You don't need to simply blindly believe and dive into aware death. It will be mostly impossible. So you need to practice throughout your life, lifelong practice. And that practice is given in Tantra Bodhi program. The whole practice is given there. And since it is a sensitive matter now, suppose you're practicing and you die, and it can cause a lot of trouble. And that is why it is not public. It is not given to everybody. Even in Tantra Bodhi, not everything is told. Those who are ready, if you ask for help, the correct master will appear. You will be given the help. There has to be a very good reason. You need to be a very good seeker. There are ranking systems in spirituality, although nobody likes it, nobody knows it also, but there is a hierarchy. Ordinary seekers are not helped in these matters because the masters think it is totally unnecessary. The masters, the higher ups, they think that the natural process of death is the best for the seeker. So there has to be a very good reason. You need to be a very strong seeker. You need to have some reputation because death is a transition from physical to non-physical. You need help from the other side. You need somebody on the other side. Here, there can be your guru. Obviously, if the guru is older, there is little chance. There can be other seekers or your students to help in this process. They will help you to maintain awareness through occult means or whatever means, you see. But help from the other side is required because you can remain aware while the physical is left, but you can become unaware instantly after death because this is natural. Mother Nature is like this. We cannot give the whole detail here. Join the Tantra Bodhi program. You will get 50% of the detail. If you progress in the Tantra field nicely, everything will be revealed. Probably you will not need to ask also. Those who are worthy, they are given everything. So Radha is asking, can you also please talk about what happens when we write our dreams on a daily basis? Usually, improvement in the awareness happens in the dream state because you are sending a signal to the mind that these things are most important. What do we write down usually in our daily lives? Things that are more important. We write them down, we note them down, such as lessons in your program. We make you write them down. It is not because I want to check whether you can write or not. No, we are sending a strong signal to the mind that these things are very important. So same psychology, same trick. Write down whatever is most important for you. The signal will be sent. So when the dream happens, the mind produces a natural awareness there. Oh, this is important. I need to write it down like every day. And there will be an ego there and it will cause awareness. If you ignore the dreams, the mind says, yeah, it is totally useless thing. Whatever is happening is not my business. It is worthy of forgetting and the awareness is turned off. This is natural, nothing wrong. So writing dreams or making a dream diary is a well-known method to improve awareness in dreaming state. There are more methods which are very public. If you search lucid dreaming or aware dreaming, reality check methods and rehearsing the dream while you are awake and so on. Find out, but it is not connected to the path of knowledge. However, it is connected to the awareness practice, but it is a topic of occult topic. There are more benefits. You can analyze the dream and find out what is inside the mind, normally which is not manifested in waking state, will be manifested in dreams, and that is called dream analysis. So the good news is we have one app in our website, gyanmarg.guru. It is called the Dream Interpreter app. You can type your dream there in short and it will give you meaning on the basis of 6 philosophies. It will interpret the dream for you. Then you can email it to yourself, and that collection of email becomes your dream journal, dream diary. It is very useful for those who are interested in these kind of experiments. Now, the important part is nothing will happen if there is no knowledge, if there is no awareness in the waking state. Nothing useful will happen. So, Anantansh is saying, going by this rationale, writing something like I am the experiencer repeatedly will help in awareness practice? Yes. Writing it, saying it, repeating it, write it down on your doors, windows, and wallpapers and desktop, wherever you look often, on your fridge, on the bathroom mirror. Although nobody will like it in your house, that is guaranteed. Suppose you are living alone or you have your own room, you can do that. It will keep reminding you, it is like a reminder. And writing it down will make it important for you. And not only that, it will be useful to write on all the topics of path of knowledge. Because writing only one sentence will become boring. Whatever becomes boring, mind ignores it. I think you asked me that day that where is that app which reminds me I am the experiencer. People don't believe it, but that app was produced for Android mobile phone, and it had the alarm in it. You can set the duration every 10 minutes, 15 minutes, 1 hour. It reminds you by playing one sentence out of 10 or 20 sentences. I am the light, I am the experiencer, I am the Brahman, and this world is illusion. And you see, we had to take that down. We had to delete that app because of some technical reasons, and because of Google's policy also. They changed the operating system, and these apps, which relied on a timer, because it runs a timer in the background, they were disabled by Google Android operating system because it ate a lot of battery. So practical reasons. And secondly, it became not effective immediately. It was my experience also that you wanted that voice to shut up after 1 hour or after 1 day of use, because it is extremely boring. You see, this is not the case about the dreams, because dreams are really interesting if you pay attention. They keep changing. It's not the same dream every day. It is not a one sentence dream. There is a story. There is a difference. So yes, you can try writing it down for some days. If it becomes boring, try to write articles on various subjects of path of knowledge. And as you know, everything boils down to I am the experiencer. Everything boils down to this I. There is nothing else in this existence. I am the existence. So from wherever you start, on whatever topic you start, you will remember it. And it is not boring. Possibly, it is more like a written contemplation. It will be beneficial for you. New knowledge or new ways to know the same thing will be shown to you. They will appear in mind. And one more advantage of writing articles is you can publish them. We have a publishing service on gyanmark.guru, Wise Words. Many people are publishing their articles. And the advantage is that others will be benefited, which is advantage for the writer also, because they get the plus point for that. It is a good action, good karma. They get the fruits of that. Even if one person benefits by your writing, you get a lot of benefit. Many people don't know this because it cannot be proven instantly, isn't it? That I wrote 10 articles, tell me how much benefit I got. That cannot be said, you see. This writing or speaking, if you don't like writing, if you find it difficult to write, talk, record, publish. Same thing. It will remind you who you are ultimately. If you are talking for 1 hour, that 1 hour your awareness will not leave you. This is intense practice. Now everybody must have guessed why I am doing the service. I was told to do this thing as a practice. Not because I am so kind and compassionate that I want everybody to progress. Nobody is like this in this world. So I was given this service. I'm doing it because I don't know whether other people benefit or not. I'm benefiting 100%. Whole day I'm spending like this. I don't need any other practice. I don't need the app to sound the alarms. It is stupid, isn't it? And no need to write one sentence 100 times. So there are more beautiful ways to practice. There are more natural ways. Invent your own. If you like singing, if you like plays, if you like drama, if you like fiction, write it. If you like to write books and so on, most welcome. Write your own Upanishad. You are a seeker on the path of knowledge. All these Upanishads and all these scriptures were written by people like you and me. So many ways to devote your life to the knowledge. The more importance you give it to, the better your practice will be. Why will anybody give importance to these things? Philosophy? Isn't it just one philosophy out of many? No, the person who got the knowledge, who is convinced that yes, this is the final truth, they will naturally give it more importance. That was their life goal. That was the most important thing for them since birth. And for those who never understood what is knowledge, what is path of knowledge, who am I, all these things are just concepts, intellectual words for them. Even if they do these practices, they will not be successful. See, you cannot turn the glass into a diamond. It's not possible. It is fake. But you can take a diamond, polish it into $1 million jewelry. It is possible. So everything is based on the genuineness of knowledge. Have you truly grasped the immensity and importance of what you have gained? And then the practice happens automatically. A situation will arise in your life that whenever you are not allowed to practice, you will get angry. You will get frustrated that today I was not allowed to practice. Today I was told to forget about these things and I was told to behave like a human being, which I am not. And the situation will reverse for an intense practitioner. You won't be able to forget. We call it falling in love with knowledge. You will become like that instead of practicing to be like that. So that is most natural. Will you be able to forget knowledge at the time of important events, including death? No. You will hold on to it doubly. You will say, this is important. Anyhow, these are ideal cases, very ideal cases, and very few people are able to do this. I know I'm one of these where I'm not able to fully do it. So practice. For ordinary people like us, practice. And we do everything that is possible to maintain the awareness. If writing it down is helping, yes, do it. Experiment. Try your own methods. You need to be careful because don't become so crazy that people brand you as crazy. No, it's not. A balance must be there. Shaila has a question. Shouldn't we consider the dreams as experience, hence illusory? Isn't it a smaller dream in this bigger dream of waking state? Yes, all experiences are illusory. The state of mind does not matter. It does not matter from which memory or which senses the experience is coming. It is all illusion. During night, it happens between sleep states, is actually a double illusion. Why? Because you see repetition of the same experience which happens usually in the waking time, in the waking state. What happens in the waking state? You are a human being, you are a boy or girl, man or a woman. You have this job, this name, you have these relatives, this house and cars and buildings and roads and so on. You see trees and birds and animals, isn't it? A faint copy of it is repeated in the dream. Nothing extraordinary will be seen in an ordinary dream. It is a faint copy of waking state. Although that is not the limit of the dreaming, it is possible to go beyond the copy. We call it the individual memory from where the dream comes. That is called the individual memory. So you can switch the memory to some other memory area in the universal memory, and then you will get those experiences which are impossible in the waking state. And then you know that it was a projected state, not simply a dream. So that state will look like waking state because there will be unique experience. If it is not unique, it does not matter. If it is similar to waking state, does not matter. But there will be no doubt in your mind that this is waking state, just like waking state, probably more aware than waking state. So yes, all experiences are illusory. When we say dream state, we don't mean that it is some real experience now. It is the truth. No, we never said like this. It is very much clear that no state of the mind is true. No experience is true. So I'm wondering why you got that question itself. Nobody has said that dreams should be considered as some other than any kind of experience. But it is good. You got the confirmation. I'll try to answer some of the questions of the test today, but you can always type your question in between so that you don't have to wait. I'm going to go through the questions very quickly because answers were satisfactory. Karan's first question was, does the path of knowledge destroy everything? His answer was 100% correct. Yes, it destroys everything. But what? Everything includes what? All that was false, which was assumed to be true, all the ignorance. And since the concept of person or individual itself is ignorance, it is also destroyed. If you are not there, nothing is yours. So everything is destroyed. The whole world turns out to be an illusion. Just like she said, dream, gone, destroyed. So what are we left with here? And this is the paradoxical part. We are left with everything because you are that everything. You are the whole. You are the existence. So what was destroyed then? It was all gain only. But it is not gained. You are already that. You are already that. It does not happen on path of knowledge that you become existence. No. It is realized that I am already that. So nothing is gained. So in my opinion, this is a complete answer. However, we all know that everything is destroyed. Hopefully everybody is happy that they are the whole existence. Although I never see people becoming very happy with this. Probably it is too big for any human being to handle. Just ignore it. But think about it. Contemplate on it. You have not gained anything, but the distraction was tremendous. Number 2, what is necessary for knowledge, memory, experience or logic? His answer was perfect, no need to add. And number 3, if it is unknowable, can it be called true nature? And again his answer was good, that his point was very nice, that if you know it, it will be an experience and hence it will be changing, false, illusion. How can that be true nature? So the true nature is not known by experience, but by being the true nature. Not by experiencing it as another event or object outside, somewhere, some other state of mind. The true nature is known by being the true nature. So, if it is unknowable, it is not a big problem at all, because we don't really need to know what it is. It won't be known. You can try it, but you will end up destroying the ideas and concepts about it. That's all will happen. Negative knowledge will happen. So in the end, the purity is left. This purity is my true nature. It does not really matter if it is knowable or unknowable. That is transcended. Knowing and unknowing, you don't care about these things because you found your true nature. Anyway, knowledge and ignorance and all these things, they are man-made. In the end, there is no knowledge. Only the ignorance can be destroyed. So, if it is unknowable, it does not mean that we are dealing with something which is false, something imaginary. No, we are dealing with exactly that which is our essence. If you can know it like an object, like any other experience, you can be 100% sure that it is not my true nature. That is how we say it by progressive elimination technique. Neti neti. Hopefully it is more clear now, but his answer was correct. Number 4, why is there no non-existence? And this answer was wrong. It did not describe anything, actually. He tried. Why is there no non-existence? So the problem is non-existence is an imaginary word. See it. It is made up word. Has anybody seen non-existence? Is there something like this? Can we even give any kind of example that look, this thing does not exist? You named it, you described it, that means it is already there in some form, like an imagination or thought. So it is an impossibility. Non-existence is an impossibility. And since it is imaginary, there is no point of asking a reason of it. Then you cannot put why question in front of it if you have not already shown that it exists. It is there in some form. Non-existence is there. I mean, it is very paradoxical to say that it is non-existence. Who is saying it? Who is knowing it? What is non-existent? It is already there. You're pointing at it. You can see. It is impossibility. It is an impossibility. But the question is asking why there is no non-existent. It is a negative question. And the answer is simple, isn't it? As soon as you say this is non-existence, it is already there. It is self-contradicting and therefore there is no non-existence. Either it will be completely imaginary thing. So many people confuse emptiness with non-existence. Emptiness is exactly opposite of non-existence. Emptiness is existence. So I know this question is very difficult. Contemplate on non-existence. You won't be able to. That is the test there. If you can find something, let us try. So if there is something like this, it will be impossible to show that there is non-existence because you need somebody to say it, to prove it, to show it to somebody else. Then it is no more non-existence. That means everything is already there. So purely imaginary concept, non-existence. Hopefully I answered it because I also tried. Probably it's not very satisfactory, but I tried. Next question, emptiness cannot be seen, but it is always present, true or false? His answer was right. This statement is true. It is always present. Whatever you are seeing is nothing but emptiness. You don't need to change your state of mind and close your eyes and fly off into space somewhere to find the emptiness. No. Right now is emptiness. What is there right now? Experience and the experiencer. There is no doubt that the experiencer is empty without qualities. Probably everybody has established this beyond doubt. It is complete emptiness, the experiencer. What about experience? And you need to go a little bit deeper there because they are changing and there is nothing to be found which is changing. That's why they are empty. They are empty of any substance. For example, waves are changed on the surface of the ocean. Waves are changing. But what is changing actually? The water. You can find a substance there. You can say, yes, waves are false. False form of the ocean is wave. See, it is changing, but you can always find that which is changing, which will be a substance, water, gold and ornament and clay and pot and so on, you see. That's why the examples are limited because they point to the actual situation. Now you look at the actual situation, your experience currently. What is changing there? There is no substance which is changing. Now the twist here is that which is apparently changing is existence itself. However, still there is no substance there. There is no foundation there. There is no ground there. It is still empty because the changes are only apparent. This is tricky, isn't it? Many people get confused here. So you need to think again and again, establish it using your own direct experience, using the logic that this is indeed the case. Both the experience and the experiencer are empty of qualities. Whatever appears is illusion. Any quality can appear. That means there is no real quality there. There is nothing, no substance there. It is not made up of anything. In common language, you can say the experience is not made up of anything. When the experience changes from one thing to another, nothing is left behind. Confirm it again and again. This is very important. So, what is present then? Experience and the experiencer, both are empty. It is always present. Where will you find emptiness? If you cannot find it right here, right now, you will never find it. It is the existence. That existence is nothing but you. You are also that. Empty. So that reminds me of one scene in the movie The Matrix. Everybody must have seen that movie. Neo and that agent were fighting. Part 1, I'm talking about part 1 of the movie. And in the end, they point their guns at each other. They have shot many rounds. Although it is Matrix, but there is still some law that you can fire only this much bullets from the guns. Finally, they are pointing their guns at each other. And the agent says, "You are empty." And Neo says, "So are you." It is a very beautiful scene. In the movie, they are pointing that their guns are empty. But the message that is being delivered through this dialogue, all forms are empty. You must watch that movie at least 10 times to get all the teachings of Buddhism from the Matrix. Yes, it is amazing. Especially after doing this program, after knowledge, you will understand that movie in a new light. You will understand it 100% more than ordinary people. For ordinary people, it is like a story, science fiction. But for spiritual people, it is like a scripture, Upanishad. So I remembered it. That screenshot of that movie is still on my blog somewhere, some article. You are empty. So this is the formula in Buddhism. Form is emptiness, emptiness is form. And probably everybody knows why. Probably everybody understood why it is all emptiness. And then don't try to know the emptiness. Why? Emptiness is also empty. There's nothing to know there. That's why unknowing remains. It does not matter if it is unknowable. Actually, it is a good news because you have reached the final. You have reached the ultimate. If there is something to know, that means you are pretty sure that it is not the ultimate. Okay, we go to the next question. If I am beyond physical, why am I having a physical life? And he got half marks there. Half mark. Because, yes, you can cook up a good reason for why there is something called physical life. The thing is, the question is asking about I am. First part is saying I am beyond physical. Then there is a confusion in the mind of the seeker. He is asking now, but why am I physical? First part says I am not physical, I am beyond physical. Second part is asking why I am physical. Can you see problems? Confusion in the question. If I am beyond physical, obviously I am not having any life. The experiencer have not taken birth as a human being. Remember, I am never born. I never die. I am eternal. That is why this beyond physical tag is attached, which is a negative quality, isn't it? Only the physical things have qualities. There is no point in asking why about the physical life, because there is no physical life for the experiencer. So either you are the experiencer, then don't ask about physical life or any kind of life. There is no life there. But if you are a physical being having a physical life, that means you are not beyond physical. This physical organism is not beyond physical. So the question is mixing the two. That means knowledge has not happened nicely there. But Karan tried to still manage somehow. He tried to answer it somehow. And he said it has some utility. It is appearing because everything can appear. This thing is also appearing. Yes, in that way, the answer was right. So he got half mark there. Always remember that many of these test questions are designed to confuse the seeker. Not all of them are straightforward. Tell me what was written in your program. Tell me what was said about the experiencer in the program. No, that is the school education. The test is checking your understanding. The test is checking your contemplation. How much contemplation you had. Did you verify it nicely or not? That is what the test is checking. So Karan needs to again see what the question is saying. Number 7, what are the main causes of loss of awareness? Full marks, good answer. You see, the list of causes that cause the loss of awareness is very long. Don't try to memorize it. It's very long. It can be anything. For every seeker, it will be different, something different. So try to know that which causes awareness. What causes awareness? Just like we said just now, while giving the example of the reminder app and so on, I told you, and we keep telling this, isn't it? Intense love for the knowledge. It has to be most important thing. It has to be your life goal. Otherwise, don't bother. There's no point in having awareness. There is no point in doing the awareness practice. It will not improve your life or other things. So, knowledge, verification, it must be true for you. You must touch the hot pan. The evidence must be solid for you. It should not be a story that somebody told online somewhere. These are the causes of maintaining awareness. You memorize these things. Although the things that cause the loss of awareness are important also, but there are no rules there. There are no rules. It is totally different for different people. It is very subjective. The next question, what does the experience of oneness feel like? And again, he got 0.5 mark. Because oneness is not an experience. So, he tried to tell the state of the mind of the one who has realized oneness. So, I said, okay, you take 0.5. That is also good enough. That is another interpretation of the question. Bliss and so on, you see. Satisfaction that finally I found. Finally I reached my life goal. Finally I reached my destination, which very few people in this matrix, in this illusion, are able to do. It feels good, hopefully. But remember, the question is asking experience of oneness, and oneness is not an experience. It is not an illusion. It is not something which comes and goes. It is always present. Even if you are in ignorance, you don't know oneness or anything about it, it is still there. It is still there. How do we define experience? It comes and goes, changing, illusion, mind created, sensory hallucination of some kind. That is experience. Oneness cannot be that. So it is not an experience. Sometimes we call it non-dual awareness, although sometimes that is also lost. You forget that is one. Anyhow, always remember this thing. Oneness is merging of experience and the experiencer. When you cannot find any true difference between the experience and the experiencer, you cannot separate them. It is always like this. Sometimes you know it, sometimes you remember it, sometimes you verify it. That's all. Sometimes it has effects on the mind, like bliss, peace, so on. These are experiences. But oneness itself is not an experience. Sometimes in everyday language, in common words, or to new seekers who don't know all these technical finer points, we use this language. I'll show you the experience of oneness. I'll show you your true nature. Obviously, you cannot show these things, isn't it? So we start like this sometimes. It is okay. But a seasoned practitioner, a senior seeker, should immediately see the mistakes in the questions. Next question, what is the evidence that any kind of experience is possible? Full marks. However, I don't remember the answer now, but it is related to infinite potential. So any kind of experience is possible. But what is the evidence? Without getting all kinds of experiences, how can we say that any experience is possible? Anything is possible in the illusion, which is perfectly right actually. But how to produce the evidence? What is the evidence? What is our direct experience that only limited experience is possible? We can see only this much, we can hear only this much, we can experience these objects, these thoughts, these feelings. It is not possible to experience everything, at least right now. That if the experience is limited, that means existence will be limited because it is the existence that is appearing as experiences. And if existence is limited, that means it is not the whole, it is not the existence. It's very, very good point. Although it all sounds like logic. So we know that any kind of sense is possible. If you look at all the creatures that are present on earth, you will find different species have different kind of senses, and they are having probably different kinds of experiences. So what is the limit? The limit is senses, not the existence itself. The limit is what can be perceived, not what can appear. If you change your senses, yes, and the experience will change, something else will appear. Why are the limited senses? Because that is necessary for survival of the organism. It is necessary. So that gives us an illusion of limitedness of the experience. It is one more argument you can say. I mean, first is that about the existence. Second is the real limitation is of senses, not of that which is present or which is appearing. And there are more, like if it is an illusion, anything is possible in the illusion. It can change into anything. And our direct experience also, every day new things appear. Your last day was not the same as this day, and next day will not be exactly same as this. So even though we perceive in a limited way, the series of perceptions is unlimited. However, there is death. However, you can ignore death for a while because there will be somebody to perceive anyway. So this infinite series of experiences is happening, although it looks like it is happening through a small window of senses. The window itself is limited, but there can be infinite windows, infinite senses. There is no limit on that. So how many waves are possible on the ocean? How many kinds of waves are possible? It is all infinite. How many pictures are possible on a blank screen? Infinite. So like this, we can try to, even though we are limited, human beings are limited, we cannot directly perceive everything, all kinds of experiences. It can be concluded. Logical inference is there. However, the real answer comes from science using our model of the mind or memory, universal memory, given in the series Vibronics, also in Tantra Bodhi. The concept is that all experience is ultimately change, and change can be broken down into smaller parts, which we call vibration. Finally, there is binary change, which cannot be broken down. Binary change is the smallest change of two states. But this vibration can be combined in infinite ways. There can be infinite frequencies, amplitudes, and phases. It can produce infinite variety of patterns. This is very solid explanation. Yes, Neelam is saying change can happen in any way. Yes, it is a very difficult question. I know it is a very difficult question in philosophy also. So no problem at all. Whatever it is, the experience is always of one kind. It is an illusion. That is more important. Instead of trying to find how many ways the illusion can appear. Although it is self-evident, according to me, at least to my intellect, it looks like that illusion, you say illusion, that means it can be anything. I do not see any limits in the existence itself. It cannot be something else. And that is more important, that it will be an illusion. That is why in our program also we say that there are only one kind of experience. How many kind? One kind. But yes, in the ways it is manifested, that it can be infinite. That evidence is logical. Probably right now we won't be able to demonstrate it using direct experience. You will need to take the direct experience and extrapolate it logically somehow. But that is not very important. It is important to recognize that it is changing and it is illusory. That is more important. Number 10, how to contemplate purely on direct experience before listening to the teachings. And he got half mark again because he tried to tell how to do that. It's okay. But please do not do that. Do not contemplate on anything before listening to the teachings. What are you contemplating on? It will be all random thoughts in the mind. However, nobody is stopping you from doing it. You can try, but the chances are that it will fail very badly. That is why the guru and the books are important, although they are not sources of knowledge. Sources of knowledge are only two: direct experience and logic. But they are useless if pointing is not present, if the teaching is not present. I am not saying it is impossible to get the knowledge, but it will take many years, or probably many lifetimes. Only to those it is possible who are very lucky. One in a billion will realize something. So, first listening is the first step, then contemplation, then abiding. If you follow these steps in a disciplined manner, path of knowledge will be successful. There are good chances. But yes, anybody is free to try direct experience. They will not get much out of it. So this is the test. Hopefully everybody benefited from the questions and answers. It will be food for thought for many days for many people. Anantansh is saying, what is free will? Another illusion, isn't it? If it is an experience of some kind and it is a process of some kind, it is an illusion. Now we don't need to ask about each and everything in this whole existence. What is this? What is that? No. The existence can appear as anything. So this illusion can also appear. And just like everything, every other illusion, we use it sometimes. If it is useful, use it, fully knowing it is all an illusion. There is no such thing in reality. Not only free, there is no bound will, there is no will at all. These are all concepts. We use it sometimes because that is useful in day-to-day life. This is the short answer. Nobody is there to will, and therefore there is nothing which is like this. Not only there is no will, there is nobody to will it. It is all appearing. Yes, congratulations to Karan. Very good performance. And we'll end today's meeting here. I'll see you next time. Thank you everybody for attending today's meeting. Namaste.